people were asking me what they could do to help, asking if they could send money. Because of the financial and crisis here, you can't actually send money here and get it in dollars. It's just difficult. Anyway, so I said, no, don't do that. If you want to help and you want to send money, Xander's coming out and he can bring the dollars. We exchanged all the dollars at the black market rate. It changes daily, so it differed every day. And then I reached out to local NGOs that I knew that were bona fide NGOs, not ones that were stealing money, because you have to be wary of that as well. And so Offre Edouard and OSG Beirut were two of the main ones that we worked with. But we also walked down into Jemaisi and Mamkhel and Ashafia, where the major parts of the explosion hit, and went into buildings to go and see families and people who needed help. So we went in and we got medicine for some families, and we got food for some families who didn't have any help from anybody and didn't have any money. So those are the types of things that we did. And up until yesterday, we were still giving donations and giving food and giving sanitary staff, hygiene products, cleaning products, food for children, food for their families.
I was in Jemaisi in my friend's house, and we were in the balcony, and we didn't realize there was a fire before the explosion. We thought it was like wind that closed the window too harsh. So we went out to see what's happening, and then it just exploded in our faces. And I don't really remember what fell on me, like for me to have my collarbone surgery. But then I saw the video, and apparently the whole the whole tray of the window fell on me. And then we basically had to walk to the hospital because the roads were collapsing almost. Like the building were falling and people were on the floor. So it was pretty intense. But the good thing is that I didn't have my glasses, so I couldn't really see what was happening. so it was
the full horror.
yeah.
Okay.
The hospital was overcrowded, to an extent where they did the radio, and then I had to come the next day for the stitches, and then a week later for the surgery.
With all the pain.
Yeah, I had to sleep the first night. That's why I took the drugs that were prescribed. Because no stitches, no nothing here. I was still like just bandage here and bandage there. My collarbone, my right one, yeah. It was like fractured, but it went up. So like you would see a bump. So they had to bring it back and screw it. Like the sound wave when it exploded, I heard the sound wave before the explosion.
Okay.
And like my, what do you call the parts that are here?
He had like headache from the...
Like when people electrocute you,
Oh,
like
yeah.
in movies,
Example.
I could not open my mouth fully for like a week, or like even chew hard stuff because I would feel the pain here, all over here. For 24 hours, for me, were not, like I couldn't process it. Like I was home, but like people were more emotional, if you want, than I was. I was just sitting in the bed and just smiling the process away. Yeah, I was in shock,
He
basically.
was in shock, yeah.
Yeah, I got more hurt. I mean, all of my friends who got hurt are now out and about, like helping and going out and everything. I can't even lift my right arm for now.
I don't want to live in a country that has black flags everywhere.
I don't relate to that. So, well, anything that's black is related to the Shias mostly, in Lebanon at least. Because you also have black for Sunnis and everywhere. And the black flag of ISIS, for example, is, you know, but it just means rage. So my name is Sherbil, and I was very close to the explosion when it happened. I was in Memri and very on the highway side, just facing the electricity of Lebanon's building, which was completely destroyed now. There were fireworks everywhere, and then things started to explode, and it was just like boiling, you know. And then boom, the first one was tiny, like small, very small one, but it was an explosion, you know. Everyone could hear it in Beirut. So the first explosion went off, and I immediately accelerated. I wanted to leave. Everyone was on the streets because everyone wanted to like do stuff, and they wanted to finish their work. I was blocked by a traffic jam, so I pulled over to the right, and there was also a traffic jam from like, so I was stuck. I got stuck there. Put down the window, and we started recording like everyone in Beirut was doing. I just saw the mushroom, the big wave coming at me, and then I heard the explosion, and it was just, you know, that was it. Taxi, staat taxi. سيارة دايرة.
امك بآيري يا رب تنجيه. شرب الفل.
شو بدي أعمل؟
شرب الفل. شرب الفل كس اخطى بآيري.
I didn't understand what was happening. I was too close, and I thought it was like, okay, it's a big bomb, and it hit us. And I immediately asked the guy next to me if he was okay and if everything was okay. I looked at myself, there's nothing. And then I went down from the car, and it was just, you know, it was bad. It was super bad. There was just dust everywhere. You couldn't see farther than like 2-3 meters ahead of you. And then when it started fading away, this dust, I started seeing people on the ground, just like, you know, lots of blood everywhere, people screaming, women screaming. I bumped into the guy that I was with, my friend that I was with at the bar. And I saw him, he was like, you know, full of dust and sweat and blood and just running, you know, and I could see him. He's just running away. He's just, you know, after he told me that he wanted to go home walking, which is like 2 hours away from where we were. So I honked and I called him. I was like, Emil, and he saw me and he got in the car. And the moment he got in the car, we both like, you know, started crying. The start of it, the reaction or non-reaction of the government, because they knew that it was there for the past 4 or 5 years. So obviously there was some sort of you know, plan for that, because you wouldn't leave 3 tons of ammonium nitrates in the center of the city just like that. You know, we're not stupid. We're in the 21st century. You wouldn't leave it. It's either negligence, which is stupidity negligence, or there's something else. I don't think the people in the government are stupid. The end result is the same. The end result is that the government sold its people. They did not give a flying fuck about us. They did not care.
I mean, I feel annoyed, but at the same time, I'm not really surprised. The whole thing of them not taking the ammonium nitrate away, the whole explosion, like, this is exactly what we've been saying, that the government is not being responsible or fit to the cause, and he's just using the whole yes, we're gonna help. They talk, but then when we receive international help, instead of giving it to us, they just take it and give us like 1%. And that 1% is letting like 10% or 15% of the population still believe in them, because they're giving but taking, you know, that strategy of just stealing from people but giving them enough so that they're hooked. So that's what's happening. But now people are realizing that this is not enough.
فخامة الرئيس، حضرتك قلت انه ب20 تموز يعني تسلمتوا تقرير من الاجهزه المعنيه وكمجلس للدفاع الاعلى وحولتوها للمعنيين. حضرتك كرئيس هذه البلاد وايضا كقائد للقوات المسلحه، لماذا لم تبادر ويعني حضرتك توجه بأمر مباشر بإزالة هيدي المواد المتفجرة؟ لأن حتى بالتقرير أظهروا قد ايه مدى خطورة هذه المواد ووجودها على منطقة حيوية.
مواد صار لها 7 سنين من 2013 موجودة وعم بيقولوا خطرة، وأنا ماني مسؤول، ما بعرف وين محطوطة يعني، ولا بعرف شو درجة الخطورة.
مش موجود.
وما قال لي صلاحية اتعاطى بالمرفق مباشرة. في تراتبية لازم تعرف واجباتها.
Look how funny. There's no more highway. Yeah, there's no more highway. So weird. Look at the flags. This is sad. It doesn't represent me.
The trend here is to take the really old Byzantine French buildings and make them into a trendy, cool restaurant. I hope nobody was in here.
Times from these things, but the problem is we don't have an organizing team now for this. So we're afraid that the expiry date of the things, we're afraid that many people are coming here on street. We want milk, but we don't want to create like we're giving some people and some people not. Even either we give to everyone or to all the children in need.
Kirsty, how many packs you want? 10?
Yeah, like to buy here.
Yes,
Yeah.
buy from here.
Well, we can buy more.
Yeah. قد ايه عندك شيء؟
So, Carla, so we're trying to make sure we spend the money within the community.
Yes, I
So
understand.
it goes back into the community.
But for example, here in this street, they are providing many help.
Yeah,
If you go to another streets, it decreases.
yeah.
So, for example, Street M, we call them Street M due to our assessment, is that you go, they're not having much help as other streets.
Yeah.
Because they're not.
So we have to go there.
Yes. So
Okay.
I advise you to go there because they're not having enough food and not enough water.
Yes.
We're trying to help them as much as possible, but you know we have more than 3 streets now to deal with, and we have 40 buildings in Madam Khalid that we are dealing with.
Right.
So it's too much for us. So for example, Street M, it's not taking the support that it needs.
So wait, so you have 3 streets here that you're working on,
Yes.
and 40 houses in Mamkha.
Yes.
We're going to buy water here from these shops. Okay, 2, 4, 6. There's
6.
4 more to come.
Yes.
10.
There.
We had a nuclear bomb, I think. We practically survived it, me and two of my employees. I was coming from home, actually, and I parked my car, went inside the shop. It was around 6 o'clock. Heard the first blast. Went outside on the sidewalk to check what was that. I heard some planes in the air, and I shouted that, guys, there's another plane coming to hit us. And you count 3 seconds, I saw a big light. I saw windows coming out of a building, like in slow motion mode. And then I saw myself thrown from the sidewalk to the bar inside, 4-meter jump. I was lucky I was outside. My team was inside, so they got all the window and the facade and all the glasses in their face. So they had, I consider them minor injuries compared to other injuries. Broken fingers, dislocated shoulders, stitches all over their bodies. Well, I saw people lost their hands. I saw people with bad injuries. I saw dead bodies. I saw people hang from the balconies. We did not see anyone coming to help us. It took them 2 days to come over. Of course, they will blame first the direct responsibles of the port.
Yeah.
That like four departments in the port control the port.
Yeah.
And they arrested like the puppets, let's say. But I think everybody is in charge of. Everybody is to be blamed since 7 years till now. Imagine, our president of the Republic of Lebanon knew there were like an atomic bomb in these hangars and can't do nothing about it. Everybody blames it on the other, like the Minister of Transportation, like the Minister of National Security, everybody, Minister of Interior, all these departments, the Army, the Secret Service, the National Security Services, all these, like everybody throwing it on the other. And at the end, who paid it? The innocent. 300 dead, 6,000 wounded, 300,000 people without homeless. 160,000 small and medium business gone. Well, we are lucky. I put all my finances that I had on the side to reopen. I just injected everything I have. So I'm now with $0 actually, just to open my place because we are the hope of the street and hope of the city. We stood together and we said, you know what, guys, we need to open. At least to make ourselves busy a little bit and make this place alive, because we need to be next to the people also in the street. You have like people want to eat something or have a drink, or we can serve them. At least we keep ourselves busy, let's say.
I was in the next room, with the bedroom. When the first explosion I heard, I get out the balcony. I waited 2 minutes. I heard the second explosion. I see the second explosion on the sea. It came from side to side. I estimated the speed of the coming wave. I make the decision that I cannot run away. It was too fast. I slept on my stomach and covered my head. After that, I saw that my glasses they were thrown away. My slippers and also. I saw that all the ground is crashed and everything, glasses and the windows, everything are on the ground. The first thing I go my neighbor, as if he had something. She was also hurt from the neck. There was blood coming. So this is what happened. Everything was damaged. Windows, glasses, doors. Everybody says it's planes, but it was not the sound of plane. It's the sound of wave of air. There wasn't anything, but it's the system of compression of the air that's what hurt.
Have you had any help from the government or anything like that?
Until now, no.
And have you been having help from people outside?
Yes, there is an Armenian organization, AGBU. They are going to come and fix the house, internal and outdoor. There is negligence from the government, but I don't think the people of Lebanon can do it. Must be an outside world help. I am a revolution, but it's not the only revolution I want. I wanted changing the system. I don't like this system. Hariri, the persons from Hezbollah, Amal, this is always this is the system, and divide the rule between them. I don't like it. Still, I keep cleaning.
You keep cleaning still?
Yeah. I can show the pictures.
Yeah.
Take.
Where was that?
This is home here. It was here. Okay. The kitchen. It's damaged.
Where we are?
We are in Ashrafiyeh, in an area called Fassouh. Right behind me is where the explosion happened.
Fixing anything like that?
But 21 days after the explosion, we haven't seen anyone from the government, nor from the army, nor from the police, nothing at all. They're completely absent. The only time we saw the government is when they were shooting at us when we were protesting after the explosion in downtown Beirut.
Why were you protesting?
We were protesting, their complete, we wanted to know what happened, who is responsible for the explosion, is it complete negligence or is it really on purpose? So people died and the government did not give us any information, so we were protesting too because we deserve to know the truth. Up till now, we don't know exactly what happened yet. They destroyed the whole city and we don't have any information.
How would you feel about the French government stepping in?
Any foreign government at this point stepping in is actually better than the government that we have. And sadly, honestly I feel sad, but I think that the only way to get rid of this, I'm going to call it occupation, not government, is to use international help. And we need any kind of help that we can now to bring the truth forward and to hold people accountable. I think definitely we can bounce back, but the problem is not there, is that we've been bouncing back for years now. But every time we bounce back, they bring us down again. So we're just fixing the symptoms by bouncing back, by rebuilding. but the problem is still there. When is the next explosion? Does Hezbollah has another place where they hid weapons as well that might explode? Will they have another civil war? Will they create another civil war? Will Hezbollah, come to the city and destroy it again? We don't know. So how many times can we rebuild and rebuild? I think it's time that we fix the problem instead of fixing the symptoms.
Do you think this cycle of corruption will ever end?
At this point, I don't think it's sustainable, and it will end. It has to end. Now, how will it end? Will they give up peacefully and say, we're done, or they will, destroy the country and burn it down before they leave? From what I've seen, at least from specifically Hezbollah and from the incidents yesterday in Khaldi, that they're willing to create a civil war before they actually give up their power. Again, I'm still optimistic. I still want to stay here in this country, and will fight for it. But I'm not the kind of person who would hold any weapons. So I don't know how to fight. I know how to speak the truth. I know how to protest. But if we have to face a militia like Hezbollah, I don't know how we can do it. But we will keep trying. We'll try. Sadly, Hezbollah also controls all the political class because they have the weapons and they have control over the government. And sadly, nobody is willing to say the truth. But we know the truth, and we want to hold them accountable.
For this or anything like that?
Well, I think the political class altogether, they conspired. But clearly, we know that there's one political party who is armed and who has control over the airport and the ports. We found evidence of products that to make missiles. So clearly, Hezbollah has a hand in this. Hezbollah did put something in the port there completely irresponsibly because they control, the airport and the port.
Blame? Yes, I can blame them. I blame the Hezbollah.
Blame for this,
Hezbollah.
Yeah.
There's no question about it.
وأمن بلدنا يا أمريكان ونصير تحت رحمة الإسرائيليين هذا ليس واردا. حتى بموضوع السلاح، هلا شو اللي عم يعملوه البعض بلبنان؟ إنه مزبوط يا أخي، حزب الله ما له علاقة بالفساد، ما له علاقة بالسياسات الاقتصادية السابقة، ما له علاقة، بس هلا نحن بمكان يا سيد يا حبيبنا لنقدر نجيب خبز بدك تسلم سلاحاتك. اللي بيحمي بلدنا وبيحمي سيادتنا وبيحمي مياهنا ونفطنا وغازنا وشعبنا وكرامتنا وأمننا وأعراضنا ونسائنا وأطفالنا هو سلاحنا. واللي بده يحطنا بين خيارين، يا منقتلك بالسلاح يا منقتلك بالجوع، أقول له سيبقى سلاحنا في أيدينا ولن نجوع ونحن حنقتلك.
I'm the founder of OSGB and the current president of this NGO. OSGB was created 2 years ago with a mission of showcasing the power of youth in our country. What we do, all in all, is that we create sports events by pushing people to play for a cause. So every time we conceive an event, it's to push people to play for a certain cause. What happened in Beirut on August 4th pushed us all to take the decision as an NGO to go on the ground and to try to help people in any way. We went on the streets and we helped around 850 families so far by providing them with food boxes and with the medical assistance. For the second phase, we'll be doing our events, hopefully here in this city. Hopefully we'll be able to execute them here because their mission is to bring back life to this city. So some people are saying that because too many NGOs, too many people came on the street and helped people to clean up the streets and to rebuild their houses, they think that by that we cleaned up the scene and now there is no trace anymore for what happened, or that this doesn't longer belong to the government as a responsibility. So I completely disagree with that, honestly, because whomever knows the Lebanese people can easily know that we are resilient. We never lived in peace here. We always said what could happen more than what we're already living in. And we discovered that actually more exists and we can live and the worst Lebanon. We cried the first day, we cried the second day, but on the third day we were all here, and now till this day we are on the 20th day, I think, and we are all here, and we will all be here. We will not leave the streets before we rebuild Beirut. This is my hometown, this is the country I love, this is the country where I want to live. And I'm sad, honestly, to see people leaving this country. I understand them, but at the same time I'm sad. This is something that is pissing me off, and it's pissing everyone off, mainly our parents, the bigger generation, because they are losing their future, and this is something really hard for us. I'm sure you know that 300,000 people are homeless because of this blast. Many people are depressed now, and I think that not a Lebanese, not a true Lebanese, would leave this area before we will see it at least the way it was before.
So the rebuilding effort is actually incredible. The scaffolding is up in Karantina in 3 of the streets. There's scaffolding up in Beirut, in Mamkhal, in Ashrafi and Jamaisi, and Saifi village. And one set of opinions is that they don't want to rebuild because they don't want to have to rise again, because they're exhausted from rising through all the walls that they've had here and rebuilding, and then another bomb hits or another atrocity happens. And then the other side of the fence is that people want to rebuild really quickly because they want to prove to Hezbollah and the government that they're not going to win, and that they will rise, and that, you know, they're all going to be fine. But who knows that? Who knows that? Because if everyone knows that there's more ammunition, there's more ammonium nitrate elsewhere in Beirut and Lebanon, so they're like sitting ducks and targets.
Do you think the cycle's ever going to stop?
I don't know. Who knows? I hope so, but I don't know if it will happen.